All right, let's talk about something that can make or break a company. Have you ever been in a workplace where everything just clicks? You know, where finding information is a breeze, working together feels effortless, and you actually feel connected to your team. It sounds kind of like a workplace dream, right? Well, it's totally possible with the right communication tools. But before we get to the solutions, we have to face a pretty expensive problem that a lot of companies don't even realize they have. So let me ask you this right off the bat. Is it possible your workplace is just leaking money? And not because of bad sales or a faulty product, but because of something as simple as poor communication? I think the answer is going to surprise you.
Get a load of this number, 25%. That's not a small chunk of change. Research is showing that companies can lose up to a quarter of their yearly revenue all because their employees are disengaged. Think about that. That is a massive, massive cost for something that is completely fixable.
And that really brings us to our first big idea, the high cost of silence. Because this isn't just about being a little annoyed that you can't find a file or that you missed a memo. No, this is a huge invisible drain on a company's money, its productivity, and honestly, its morale. And here's where it gets really interesting. You might be thinking, well, my company has an intranet, so we're fine. But are you? Just look at these numbers. Only 13% of people actually use their internet every day. And worse, a whopping 31% never use it at all. So yeah, the tool might be there, but it feels like nobody's home. The engagement is totally broken. So, what do we do about this? How do we fix it? Well, before we can even think about picking the right tools, we got to go back to basics. We have to understand how information is supposed to move through a company. And that brings us to what are called the four flows of communication. And it really is this simple. You've got top-down, which is, leadership telling everyone what's important. Then you have bottom-up, which is supposed to be feedback from employees. Peer-to-peer is just your everyday teamwork. And crisis, well, that's for the super urgent stuff. Now, they're all important, but here's the key. That bottom-up flow, that's the one that almost always gets clogged, leaving employees feeling like they're shouting into the void and leaders totally in the dark about what's really happening. Okay, so now that we've got the how down, let's get to the what. We're going to dive into the specific digital tools that really fuel a modern, plugged-in workplace. This is what your company's digital toolkit should look like. And look, it's never just one single tool that's going to fix everything. It's about building a whole ecosystem. You can see it here. You need that central company internet for sure, but also a great mobile app, instant messaging for quick chats, project management platforms for deep work, and even things like surveys and social networks to build up the culture. It's the whole package that makes it powerful. Let's zoom in on the big one, though, the company internet. The best way to think about this is as your company's digital headquarters. It's the one central, secure spot where everything should live. Company news, HR resources, who's who in the company, you name it. It really is the foundation for everything else. Now, this is something people get mixed up all the time, but they're for totally different things. Instant messaging is for that super fast real-time stuff, like tapping a coworker on the shoulder. Collaboration platforms, that's more like your digital project room, where you do the deep, organized work over a longer period of time. You absolutely need both. So here's the most important point. You can have all these amazing tools, but it means nothing if people don't use them. Remember those engagement numbers from earlier? The real trick, the secret sauce, is making it all stick. You've got to build a culture where people actually want to log in and participate. And this slide gives us a great game plan. 4 really powerful ways to get people on board. First, go social. Use the same ideas that make social media so addictive. Second, get moving. Make sure everything works perfectly on a phone. Third, make it fun. Add some games or friendly competition. And fourth, create great stuff. Write blogs, make videos, give people something they actually want to check out. And let's just double-click on that get moving point for a second. In today's world of hybrid and remote work, mobile isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a non-negotiable. I mean, look at this. A crazy 94% of employees say mobile devices make them more efficient. If your team can't do their work from their phones, you are seriously falling behind. And what about that go social idea? Well, here's the secret ingredient. This quote from Harvard Business Review nails it. If the leaders aren't using the platform, it's probably going to fail. Plain and simple. When the execs are in there posting updates and joining conversations, it sends a message to everybody else that this is the place to be. So let's bring this all home. When you put it all together, the right ideas, plus the right tools, plus the right strategies to get people excited, that's when you finally start building a workplace that is truly connected. And what's the reward for all this effort? Oh, it is huge. On a day-to-day level, yeah, you save a ton of time. You cut down on all the email chaos. But the real payoff is so much bigger than that. You're actually building a stronger company. You bring your hybrid teams together, you empower people with knowledge, and you build a culture where everyone feels like they belong. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Think about your own job. Right now, does your workplace give you the tools you need to connect with people, to get your work done? And maybe most importantly of all, does it give you the tools to actually be heard? Because when you boil it all down, that's what this is really all about.